Can you imagine to live without the Constitution and the rights you enjoy today? Can you live with no liberty and freedom? If the answer is no, thank him. Born to James Madison Sr. and Nellie Conway Madison, James Madison was a well-educated and a well-mannered being. Thus he was loved to the fullest by Americans. Not just that, his unorthodox thinking, decision-making power and efforts for freedom of America made him one of the founding fathers of America and the father of the Constitution as well. Let's travel back in time and find more about the famous identity James Madison. Born at his maternal grandmother's mansion, James Madison was the first child of his parents. He was raised on the family plantation located in Montpelier, Virginia. When he was 18, he left Montpelier for education at College of New Jersey. Today you know it as Princeton University. It is said that James Madison finished his 4-year course in just 2 years. But Madison was always interested in the relationship of American colonies and the Great Britain. Just to be clear, he was not fond of the taxation and the idea of British ruling over America. So when the time came, he was ready to face the British in every way possible. Virginia, 1775, Madison decided to pick up arms and joined the American Revolutionary War. He was appointed as colonel in the Orange County Militia. Although Madison had a strong will to fight, but his physique was a great drawback to his will. Just 5 feet 4 inches tall and often getting sick at battlefield, Madison had to leave the Revolutionary Army pretty soon. But he was not done. He now decided to overthrow British reign politically and thus started his political career. In 1776, he represented Orange County at the Virginia Constitution Convention to organize a new state government no longer under British rule. It was at this time when James Madison found his lifelong friend in Thomas Jefferson. Who was Thomas Jefferson? Well, he was the author of the Declaration of Independence. You can check our website to know more about him, but after you finish this video. It was around May 1787 and delegates from each state united at Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. This is where James Madison came forward with Alexander Hamilton and John Jay. They contributed with 85 essays for the Constitution of America, and 29 of these 85 essays were written by James Madison. This gave a new identity to James Madison, and now he was known as Father of the Constitution. Not just this. There needed to be rectification in the Constitution, and James Madison yet again worked on the changes. Those who supported the Constitution were called Federalists, and those who opposed it were called Anti-Federalists. From 1789 to 1797, James Madison got elected to the newly formed House of Representatives. At this time, Madison worked in Congress by drafting the Bill of Rights. What is Bill of Rights, you may ask? A Bill of Rights was a group of 10 amendments to the Constitution that spelled out fundamental rights. Some of the rights enjoyed by the Americans today, like freedom of speech and religion, are directly the work and broad mindset of James Madison. But each coin has 2 sides. It was also at this time when James Madison and Thomas Jefferson had most of the conflicts and debates with other Federalists on federal debt and power. The biggest one was the debate with Federalist leader Alexander Hamilton on the proposal of a national bank. Alexander Hamilton also worked quite hard for the establishment of national bank. Time passed by and it was 1792, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson founded the Democratic Republican Party. This was the first opposition political party officially formed. James Madison, Thomas Jefferson and James Monroe were the only Democratic Republicans who ever became the presidents of America, as the party dissolved by 1820. It was 1794 and James Madison felt a need of a partner. Just like his friend Thomas Jefferson, James also married a young widow. Dolly Payne Todd, or Dolly Madison, was 17 years younger to James Madison at the time of their wedding. She also served as official hostess of President Jefferson. The couple was hardly ever seen apart as both of them were quite different from one another. Guess what they say is true, opposites do attract. The friendship between Thomas Jefferson and James Madison was strong. When Thomas Jefferson got elected as president in 1801, he appointed James Madison as Secretary of the State. As Secretary of the State, James Madison helped Thomas Jefferson in the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of America. It was time of election in 1808 and James Madison defeated the Federalist candidate Charles Cotesworth Pinckney. James Madison now became the fourth President of America. Now that's what you call a good promotion. But he continued to face troubles from foreign lands. Britain and France were attacking the American ships at sea and British were supporting American Indians in battles against U.S. settlers. As the President of America, it was impossible for James Madison to let this slide. He issued a war proclamation against the British in 1812. But America was not ready for this war. The American army back then was not funded enough and well prepared as it is today. Also, many states were not in support of this war. Many individuals and leaders also called this as Mr. Madison's War. Even after such major complications, Madison ordered the troops to march towards the battlefield. America got defeated most of the time at battlefield at both land and sea. While the war still continued, James Madison again ran for president against DeWitt Clinton and won. But this victory was not enough. Even after being elected for the second time as President of the America, James Madison had to feel the heat of others. He was often blamed for the losses America encountered. He was also criticized for the war and humiliation as he was advised not to go to war in those circumstances. The trade also stopped between Europe and America, and this was hurting both American economy and American merchants. What's more, the British invaded in August 1814 and burned down many infrastructures including the White House. Tired of war, America and Britain signed a treaty which ended the war in 1814. Treaty of Ghent was signed in December 1814 in Europe and once more peace was restored in America. After serving as president for 2 terms, in 1817, James Madison felt a need to take rest as he was not feeling well now. This was the time when he retired and focused all his time in recovering from his diseases. It is believed that he was in such a severe condition that he could not even move his fingers and was bedridden. Imagine, the man who wrote such a powerful constitution was lying on his bed powerless. At the age of 85, James Madison died in his bed at Montpelier because of heart failure. James Madison once said, "Knowledge will forever govern ignorance. And a people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives." America still remembers those wise words said by the 4th President of America. Gone but not forgotten. James Madison still remains a source of inspiration, knowledge and power for Americans. God bless James Madison and God bless America.